Tonight's nightmarish tale of horror begins like so many other tales told since the dawn of time itself, with once upon a time long, long ago, nearly 600 years before today, there lived a cruel man who ruled Wallachia, now known as Transylvania. With an iron fist, an unquenchable thirst for human blood. So vile, so inhuman was he, that for his sins he was cursed to walk the earth for eternity as one of the living dead. Centuries have passed like grains of sand in the wind. Kingdoms have risen, fallen. Wars have raged. The very stars themselves have grown dim and blinked out of existence forever. And yet, this undead creature, this vampire ghoul still exists. Tonight, we find him in the cemetery of Weird Hall, home to his castle filled with horrific monsters, terrifying creatures, and things that go bump in the night. Things like Tonga the Hairy Maniac, Frankentina, who was made in a mad doctor's laboratory from body parts of the dead, and that soul collector himself, the Grim Reaper. There, in his darkened castle, this creature roams, the halls brooding and plotting the eventual subjugation and rule of humankind. Who is this undead abomination, this blood-drinking fiend, this giver of nightmares? Nearly 600 years ago, he was christened Vlad Tepes, Vlad Dracula, but today, he is known by another name, a name that better describes one of his horrific hobbies. Tonight, after 6 centuries of combing the earth, we give you Vlad the Impaler, live and undead.
Now and then I think of when we were together. Like at the very end when you had to go. That was when you said no, not me. Right before you plowed into that tree. But that's my job, 'cause I'm the Grim Reaper. Remember you had consumption, and you slipped on a banana peel, and you tried riding on that Bronco bull, and you dove into an empty pool, and to your parachute just wouldn't open. Now you're all just somebody that I used to know. Uh-oh. Why didn't someone tell me that the show had started? Vlad will be mad if he finds out I ruined the start of the show. Well, maybe they don't see me. Nothing here. No siree, nothing at all.
What are you doing here?
I'm not here, Frankentina. I'm just a figment of your imagination.
Vlad, I can see you right there.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Well, if Vlad finds out I messed up the start of his show, he'll be mad.
That's true, but Vlad is always mad about something.
Hey, maybe if I sneak off stage, no one will even notice that I was here.
And just how are you going to do that?
Hey, look, everybody. There's Miley Cyrus, and she's twerking.
Ren, I don't see Miley. Oh. Vlad! You should come out here now because the show started. Vlad? Vlad, get out here. Cemeteries are no place to play. Somebody can get hurt and lose a hand or a foot.
Frankentina, that is a snack Vlad brought to the cemetery. Vlad will eat it later. But first, Look, Tonga! It's Miley Cyrus, and she's twerking!
Vlad, cemeteries are no place to play.
If I may, I happen to have a poem written by Undertaker Timothy Grimm right here in my Book of the Dead. It's called A Cemetery is No Place to Play. I'll read it with your kind permission, of course. A Cemetery is No Place to Play by Timothy Grimm. A cemetery is no place to play, as I've often said. It's full of scary, nasty things, and you could hit your head. It's full of holes deep in the ground, where all the coffins go. Well, you might fall into one if you should stub your toe. It's full of creepy crawlies, as you can plainly see, which might just make you slip and fall and you might scrape your knee. There's no happy music. You'll hear only moans. And if you try to run away, why, you may break a bone. There are no swings. There are no slides. There's no fun to be had. Unless you like dark, scary things, and you have gone quite mad. So find yourself a playground, or a park where you can play. When you see a cemetery, just you stay away. For cemeteries can be scary places that fill you up with dread. They're only fun for those of you who are already dead.
Who was that?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, it is bad enough that our Undertaker, Timothy Grimm, convinced Vlad to stay in the cemetery while he was out of town taking care of things, making Vlad miss Halloween, but now you are saying that Vlad cannot play in the cemetery? First, Vlad cannot enjoy Halloween, and then he cannot play in the cemetery? This is the worst Halloween ever!
Not for me. Well, see, first, I went trick-or-treating, and then I
for the first time ever. Yeesh, why don't you rub it in?
Well, Tonga was there too. He danced all night.
Act 2, Tonga? And Vlad missed it. Stuck here in the cemetery making sure the dead got back into their graves. Boring!
Hey, I know what'll cheer you up.
A semi-intelligent, frenzied armada of baboons who obey Vlad's every command so that Vlad can take over the world?
No.
You never let Vlad have any fun.
How about some spooky stories from the Lake Today's Choose Your Own Doom story writing contest?
Vlad is listening.
And the story's called A Ghostly Treasure Hunt.
Vlad is listening intently. And so should you, as we welcome the newly formed Castle Vlad players. Give them a hand, or else.
Tonight's first tale of terror is entitled A Ghostly Treasure Haunt and was started by Rebecca Martin. The grand prize-winning ending of the story was written by Ellen and Neil, who's in the 2nd grade at Mills Elementary. Congratulations, Sarah! And the story goes like this.
I can't believe we actually went up to that house.
Mackenzie said to her 2 best friends as they walked together down the deserted sidewalk.
It was so creepy.
It was Halloween, and they had just finished their night of trick-or-treating.
I can, but that's because I'm not scared of things like that.
Said Ginny as Ryan rolled his eyes behind her.
You're full of it.
He joked, opening the rusty gate
Well, let's see how
to the
brave,
old dark cemetery.
Let's see how brave you are when you were in the middle of some 100-year-old gravestone.
It had been Mackenzie's idea to explore the old cemetery after they had finished trick-or-treating. But she quickly regretted suggesting to her friends when she heard the gate squeak, slam, and latch behind them.
Maybe we should just go through our candy first.
She blurted, hoping to delay their trek through the musty graveyard for a few more minutes.
Fine, but I hope that creepy old ghost didn't follow us here from that pigsty. I can't believe her daughter still lives there.
I can't believe we got all this candy.
Ryan replied, dumping his trick-or-treat earnings right on the pavement.
Chocolate, ooh, almond. Popcorn balls. And chocolate. Sounds like a successful night to me.
What's that?
This? It's just an opened Cracker Jack box from old Red Eyes. She never gave out good candy anyway.
My mom says to never eat something that's not sealed when you get it.
Relax. There's nothing in there. Well, besides this.
He plucked out and carefully unfolded a yellowed piece of paper, calling the girls closer to look at it with him.
What do you think it is?
Well, judging by the dotted line, circle, giant red eggs, I'd say we found a treasure map.
And look, it starts right here at the cemetery entrance.
They glanced around at each other, wondering what they had walked into.
Well, let's get started.
Are you sure this is a good idea? I mean, I'm not scared. I just wouldn't want you and Mackenzie getting scared.
Well, don't worry about us. Besides, the first stop isn't that far away. Let's go.
They walked a few steps forward, then a few steps to the right, then forward just a couple of steps, right up to a shiny, polished gravestone.
This one couldn't have been here too long. It looks so new compared to all the ones around it.
Maybe it belongs to someone who recently died. You know, the ones whose spirits are still sticking out.
Be quiet, Ryan. There aren't any ghosts here.
Then Mackenzie said,
Well, maybe we missed something, don't you think?
the friends wandered about the gravestone looking for whatever it was the treasure map had led them to. Suddenly, Ginny jumped back. Mackenzie looked where Ginny's shaking hands was pointing and saw a tiny glint of glass.
It's just a piece of glass. No, wait. It's glasses. It's a pair of glasses.
They're her glasses!
Whose glasses?
But he had already begun to recognize them as the glasses that covered those strange, eerie red eyes that used to peer out at the neighborhood children from behind a dirty window.
This is old Red Eye's glasses. This is awesome.
I don't think this is awesome at all. We should have never gone to her old house.
Ryan ignored her as he leaned closer to the gravestone for a better look.
Helen Greyhollow. Greyhollow? That's an even more disturbing name than old Red Eye.
Another reason why we should get out of here and go home.
But Mackenzie was already poring over the map to find the next stop.
I can't figure it out. There are things on this map that aren't really here in the cemetery.
Well, maybe we're just missing something, or we need a little help.
Ginny opened her mouth to stop him, but Ryan had already perched the glasses atop his nose.
Whoa! You guys aren't going to believe this, but I can see 100 years into the past where there were mummies and zombies and they were all wearing glasses.
What? That probably can't be possible.
Don't believe me? Look for yourself.
Ryan handed Mackenzie the glasses. She put them on and looked for herself.
Oh my gosh! What? There's a zombie! And it's coming right at
They ran as quickly as they could down the sidewalk, out of the gate, and back to Mackenzie's house where they counted up their candy, went to their homes and went to bed, trying to forget about the graveyard and the glasses. Meanwhile, back at the cemetery, a zombie walked up and picked up the glasses. The end. Let's have a round of applause for the grand prize winner and goes to treasure hunt, Ella Neal, who's in the second grade of middle elementary. We would like Miss Ella Neal to come join us up on the stage. Where are you, Elena?
Do not be afraid. Vlad does not bite. Well, he does, but he won't bite you. If there is a sign. I want over there. Right? Oh, yes. That is well. All right, let's get the picture. Everyone.
The second winner of a ghostly treasure hunt is Aubrey Boren, who is in the third grade at Osage Upper Elementary. Congratulations, Miss Aubrey Boren! Would you be so kind as to join us on this day?
This is for you. This is for you.
The third place winner of a ghostly treasure hunt is Sierra Glendenning, who's in the third grade of Osage Upper Elementary. Congratulations, Miss Sierra Glendenning! Would you be so kind as to join us on stage? Are you here? I guess not.
We will give you prizes. Hurrah! Congratulations to all the winners. And while Vlad really enjoyed that, even the children in his story got to celebrate Halloween. While Vlad was stuck here, bored out of his mind in the cemetery like some sort of zombie or something.
Excuse me? Did someone say it's zombie?
Yes, why do you ask?
Well, I just happen to have another poem written by Timothy Grimm all about zombies, and I'm dying to recite it. Get it? Dying to recite it. They're zombies.
Vlad gets it. Vlad gets it, and so do they, but they don't want it, and Vlad doesn't either. But, hell, why not? It's not as if Vlad's evening could get any worse.
Zombie Party by Timothy Grimm. A zombie party isn't much fun. They don't like to dance. Instead, they just sit around and stare as if they're in a trance. There's no conversation or laughter to be heard. All you get is groans and growls, not a single intelligent word. The food isn't much better. In fact, it's quite inhumane, because at a zombie party, all they serve is brains. Brain cupcakes and brain cookies. And I have a hunch that you won't be drinking fruit juice when you drink the zombie punch. Forget about their party games. In fact, they're really sad. If you should win while bobbing for brains, then they get quite mad. They'll chase you all around the room and try to take a bite. To become a snack at a zombie party, I find just isn't right. So ignore your zombie party invitation. Their parties are just foul. Go to a werewolf party instead. Those cats know how to howl.
That was wrong. Vlad's evening just got worse.
We're back to cheer you up.
And it just gets worse and worse.
You know, you really didn't miss that much by being stuck here on Halloween. Well, okay, except for trick-or-treating, and parties, and spooky stories, and dancing, and fun, laughter, and happiness.
Stop. Are you trying to cheer Vlad up or put Vlad into the grave? Which Vlad could just get back out of since Vlad is undead and all.
Well, Tonga and I, we just hate to see you sad. So, we are going to stay here with you all night long until the Undertaker comes back.
No, you drive Vlad batty. See, Vlad. No? You must leave Vlad alone.
We'll just keep laughing and talking and talking and talking all night long.
By the mummy shriveled tummy. Vlad hates being cheered up. Ha ha. Vlad knows what will make you leave. Vlad will call out his zombie dancers. Zombies! It is time to dance macabre!
Zombies? Oh dear!
Hurts every time. Dance, my zombie. Dance! Vlad will share his snack with you. And now it is time for story number 2 in the Lake Today's Choose Your Own Doom story writing contest. Once again, the Castle Vlad players.
Tonight's second horrific tale is entitled A Full Moon's Mystery, and it was started by Travis Zimfa. The winning entry to the conclusion of the story was written by Miss Leah Agitaji. Congratulations, Miss Agitaji! And the story goes like this. The wind howled on that Halloween night. The bare branches rattled and crashed together as the gust blew through the trees that lined Roseboro streets. Oddly enough, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. A full moon illuminated the roads, and a group of trick-or-treaters stalking their way from house to house in the cold. A robot, a slasher, a witch, a werewolf, and a race car driver trudged up to their neighbors' sidewalks. Marcy, the witch, shivered down to her bones. Her thin dress didn't do a lot to keep the wind out. The werewolf, who was covered head to toe in fake fur, felt a little warmer than the rest of the group. Marshall, the robot, knocked on the door. An old man answered, one they hadn't remembered seeing before.
Trick or treat.
They said in chorus, unenthusiastically. The night was coming to an end, and the cold of the late October night had become almost unbearable. Marcy's chattering teeth sounded like a haunted typewriter striking its own keys.
Oh, don't you all look scary? But I bet one of you gets a good scare on the others tonight.
Why do you say that?
Grace asked from behind her bloodied hockey mask.
Well, on a full moon on Halloween, strange things happen, especially to kids wearing werewolf costumes. Some say the real werewolves come after them, to also turn them into real werewolves as well.
Yeah, right. Werewolves are real.
Are you sure? Well then, how do you know you're not looking at me? You should have seen the looks on your faces. I've been beating kids with that werewolf nonsense all night.
He kept laughing, and the kids pouted all the way back to the street.
What a load.
Debbie said from behind her NASCAR helmet.
Yeah, what a creep.
Guys, I think I'm ready to go home.
What? We have an entire neighborhood to hit on.
Now I'm gonna get sick if I stay out here any longer. What do you think, Marshall?
I'm pretty cool too. These cardboard boxes do not do a good job of insulating me.
I've got some homework to get done before tomorrow, too. I mean, who assigns homework on November 1st?
Okay. Let's go home then.
Can we take a shortcut?
The kids looked around at each other uneasily. The shortest way, shorter than the long way back to their houses. They could be home in 15 minutes if they went that way. But it also meant walking through the pitch-black Roseboro Cemetery at night. During the day, it was just sad to walk amongst the gravestones. During the night, it got downright spooky.
Please?
Yeah, why not? I've got a pillowcase full of candy to count.
The others eventually agreed, and they cautiously and slowly entered the cemetery. As they walked through the graveyard, they heard tiny noises here and there. A snapping of a twig, a rustling of leaves. the hoot of an owl. The moon glared down at them with its pale yellow glow. All of the children shivered now, not so much from the temperature, but the fear of the darkness. About halfway through the cemetery, Ricky stopped dead in his tracks. The rest of the gang moved on, but slowed when they realized he wasn't walking behind them anymore.
Ricky? Ricky, what's wrong?
Ricky didn't respond. His eyes just slowly drew upwards towards the full moon.
Ricky?
Suddenly, Ricky let out an inhuman roar. His eyes turned beady and black, and his body shook violently as his friends screamed and scrambled for the nearest headstone. Then they watched horrified as Ricky, or what used to be Ricky, sprinted into the darkness of the night. Debbie was crying behind a racing helmet visor. Mossy sat slack-jawed, no longer shivering. Marshall muttered to himself in disbelief. Grace had run away, determined to find the exit. The other three could just barely hear the pattering of her footsteps on the pavement. A low, rumbling howl came from the darkness all around them. It reverberated and echoed off the gravestones. There was no possible way of knowing where it came from. Then a sharp wolf's howl cut through the night, followed by a shrill scream that sounded like Grace. But something cut her off right in the middle. Then the entire cemetery growled a wild dog snarl. Short, choppy barks burst from the darkness. They were close, coming closer. Marcy could hear them on the other side. She turned to look over at the tombstone, but she couldn't see them. But when she turned back around, Marshall had disappeared. Debbie was so frightened, she wanted to bawl her eyes out. She looked around. Suddenly, she heard screaming all around her. She saw a shadow, then it disappeared. Debbie started to run back towards the neighborhood. She reached for her phone, but she must have lost it when she tripped. She tried to look for it, but it was dark, much too dark. She called for help, hoping someone from the neighborhood might hear.
Help! Anyone! Please, I need help! Someone!
But nobody heard her.
Okay, no more jokes, I promise. Okay, let's just go home.
You should have seen the look on your face.
Oh, hold on, guys. I'll be right back. I left my candy in my hiding spot. Be right back.
Does anybody want these little bags of candy corn someone handed down?
Sick. That's almost as bad as the orange and brown wrapped peanut butter taffy someone gave me. It's like eating a dog treat.
How would you know what dog treats taste like?
Reasons?
Someone gave me a homemade popcorn ball. Now that should be illegal.
Marcy? Marcy, what's wrong?
Don't you see?
No.
They're the woods. It's a... what? It's got yellow eyes. It's a werewolf. What? It's a werewolf.
It's probably just Ricky. Ricky, is that you?
Ricky! Send no more scaring me! Don't you see? It's not Ricky! It's a werewolf!
Marcy, now you're scaring me. Stop it.
Marcy ran all the way to her house, not looking back. It all felt like a bad dream that hopefully she'd forget by morning. But before she had a chance to tell her parents what had happened, there was a knock at the door.
about the werewolf? They're all such things, you know.
I know they weren't just playing around.
One word.
Mousy tried to run, but she got pulled back by the old man who had turned into a werewolf. Mousy started to scream, but he covered her mouth, picked her up, and headed towards the cemetery. Oh, she's trying to squirm away. He's taking some rope and tying up her wrists and ankles together. He's got some duct tape from behind the tree and he's wrapping her up. She's still trying to squirm. He picked her up and he threw her down on a tombstone. She sees the tombstones with her friends' name. Ricky, Marshall, Grace, Debbie. And then she sees it. Her own name on the last tombstone. It was only then that she noticed the other tombstones had freshly dug dirt piled in front of them. Oh, then Mousy blacked out. The end. Let's have a round of applause for the grand prize winning writer of the Boone's Mystery, Miss Leah Agataji. We would like the winner to Miss Agataji to join us on the stage. Miss Agataji.
This is for you. Wanted to make sure. And this is for you. Congratulations. Great job.
The second place winner of A Full Moon's Mystery is Erica Nevins, who's in the 7th grade at Camdenton Middle School. Unfortunately, Miss Nevins could not attend tonight, but we would like to congratulate her. Oh, she's here! Oh my God, and I don't have anything for her except this. That's not yours. Okay, thank you. Oh, this is so confusing. The third place winner of A Full Moon's Mystery is Alexis Stocklin, who is in the 5th grade at Oak Ridge Intermediate. Congratulations, Skidmore. Would you be so kind as to come up here? Get an easier name to pronounce.
I don't know what just happened, so I want to wish all of you winners congratulations on your stories. I've read them all, and they were all fantastic. Vlad also wants to urge everyone who entered the contest to keep writing, because you never know when a story written by you or a book written by you can be found in your local library or someday at your local bookstore. Unlike Vlad's autobiography, the publishers refused to print because they said it was too gory and too scary, and they did not like the fact that it was written in blood, go figure. But I urge you all to keep dreaming and keep using your imagination for everything from stories and songs to films and video games and even devices like your smartphone and your viewing device. Thing is, we're all once an idea or a dream in someone's imagination. So please, keep dreaming, and I thank you all very much. And speaking of dreaming, more like a nightmare, look who's that! cheering up. Don't encourage him. What are you doing? Do not encourage him. Vlad does not need cheering up. Vlad was stuck in the cemetery this Halloween and he missed it. This year's Halloween is gone forever and is never coming back.
But Vlad, don't you see? You have spooky things happen to you all other 364 days of the year.
Well,
It's true! With all the monsters and creatures that you have in Castle Vlad, every day is like Halloween for you.
by the creature of the Black Lagoon's pantaloons, you are right, Frankentina. Vlad will keep, and just continue to keep, Halloween in his cold black heart all year long. And well, since everyone is here, I guess there is nothing left to do but celebrate Halloween one more time. What do you say? Tonga, you want Vlad to sing? Oh, no, no, no.
Oh, come on, Vlad!
Vlad will do it! Ready, Frankie? Tonga? Grim Reaper? All right, fellas. Yes,
And it's getting so hard, not living with the things you do too bad. That things are getting so strange, I'd like to tell you everything I've seen. But she's a man in black, as a matter of fact. His eyes are as red as the sun. And the girl in the corner, she's everyone's mother. She thinks that she's the frightening one. Oh, yes, it was like lightning. Everyone was frightening. And the music was soothing. And they all started grooving. Yeah, 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 yeah. The man in black said everyone black. And it turned into a ball. And the girl in the corner said, oh, I want to warn you, it will turn into a ball. All the mix. All the mix. All the mix. All the mix. Ladies and gentlemen, Castle Vlad is proud to bring you the musical stylings of the one, the only, Mr. Grim Reaper!
I'm reaching out for something. Touching nothing's all I ever do. I softly call you over. When you appear, there's nothing left of you. Oh, oh. Now the man in black is ready to crack as he raises his hands to the sky. And the girl in the corner is everyone's wonder. She can kill you with a wink of her eye.
Oh, yes, it was electric, so frightening hectic. And the band started leaving, because they all stopped breathing. Yeah, 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 yeah. And back to everyone back into a ball. And the girl in the corner said, boy, I want to boy, you will turn into a ball. It's all roommates. How about a round of applause for Vlad's cast? Dr. Schlock, the Grim Reaper, Tonga, Frankentina, the Castle Vlad players, Vlad Zombie dancers. Thank all of our sponsors and thank you. Oh yes, it was frightening. Everybody was frightening. And the music was soothing. And we all did it grooving. Yeah, 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 yeah. The man in black said everyone back, you'll turn into a ball. And the girl in the corner said, boy, I want to warn you, it'll turn into a ball. It's all the mix. All the mix. All the mix. All the mix. Everybody, it's a ball of mix. It's a ball of mix. It's a ball of mix. Yes!
library, as you all well know, is one of the sponsors for this. You guys be sure to come over and see us at the library. I just wanted to tell you all a couple of little announcements about the library. We have a new program that we're doing there for children, maybe reluctant readers or having a hard time reading. We have a beautiful, big, old, cuddly Saint Bernard named Bella that's coming into our library. She is a service reader dog. And the children can come in, bring their own books or get books from the library, and you can come in and sit down with Bella and you can read to her. Okay? It is on the first and the third Monday after school during the month. Okay? So I just wanted to let you guys know that. We think it's going to be a fun program. Sam has little announcements here too. She's from the Lake today. They were also another sponsor of the program.
Yes, thank you guys so much for coming, and thanks to all of our sponsors. We do have one more award to give. We had our judges have picked the 6 top winners, but there was one story that the Lake Today staff just thought was outstanding, and so we decided to do a staff pick this year, and that goes to, and I believe he is here as well, Jimmy Neal.
Everyone must help Vlad sing. Vlad is suddenly hoarse. Go figure. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dylan. Happy birthday to you. And since you're leaving, good night, and thank you all very much.